Dang it, James. I had my Sunday all planned out. I was going to get up, go to Starbucks, come home, paint this ceiling panel, prime and paint it, put the hardware on it, and get it ready to hang. But no, you had to post some silly video about a child's first rifle being a Ruger 1022 with a red dot on it and a bipod. That triggered me, man. Now, James and I have a love-hate relationship. I love him and he hates me. Actually, what triggered me to make this video was something he said about chipmunk rifles, and I'm going to get into that in just a minute when I come to that rifle. What I'm going to do is tell you how I raised my kids. Barrett's 27, so he's been shooting for 22 years, and I've been teaching him, and Alex is 17, so he's, started when he was 5 or 6 too, so whatever. My daughter Allie, I have videos of her shooting this rifle right here. I have videos of them shooting all of these guns. If you go search enough in my 2000 videos, you'll see those. So it's not like I'm new to this, especially kids. I did work with the Cub Scouts and the Boy Scouts. I had to get an NRA certification just to, right off the bat, let me say, I did not get my NRA certifications to teach professionally. I got them so that I could work with youth, okay? Strictly with youths. So I had to get my, basic pistol and basic rifle and the range safety, all that stuff, for Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, so I could sign off on their rifle shooting merit badges. That's what the BSA requires. So that's what I did. No intention to teach professionally like James. I wouldn't dare put myself in the same category, but I can put myself in this category on how I taught my kids and how I taught Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts. So let me go through each rifle here. I'll turn the camera around now and we'll go from there. So yes, I am a big believer in starting off with BB, Daisy BB rifles and making a progression. And I think it's important because the main thing is that the Daisies do, and this one is funny, it's really old, so over the years, well, it's probably at least 20 years old. Let's see, Barrett's, yeah, it's at least 22 years old. So over the years, we've kind of played around with the wrap, I should have left it original, but we put this camo tape on it. I think Hoss inspired me to do this. I saw him do a gun, wrap his gun with some kind of tape or something. This is a special BB gun. I won this in an auction that Nothing Fancy was doing with PFI Dude way back, what was it, 2010? Yeah, and they were raising money. I'm sorry, I'll have to go back and look. We've raised money for different things, so I forgot what they were raising money for. I was determined to get this one, and honestly, this is what inspired me to do the Pink Cricket fundraiser. And you can see here, this is the current Cricket that we're about to give away for our current fundraiser. But I digress. So what I was going to say about BB guns is that it allows them to have more time shooting. This allows them to safely shoot around the house and have more fun. They can shoot at cans, whatever targets they can come up with, and they get more shooting time in. You can't shoot, well, we actually have we've shot the Calibri, the powderless Calibri in the backyard, but our neighbor, nobody ever knew about it. So that's a little more dangerous than the BB guns. But after the BB guns, I moved him up to this nice Crossman pellet rifle, and this is cool because it starts to introduce them into the concept of magazines and clips. The clip is a 10-round rotary type that slides into a magazine, and again, I'm trying to do this one-handed, so you'll just have to trust me on that. And if you get this 88-gram gas cylinder, it makes it a lot of fun because they can shoot for a long time. So this is, you know, .177 caliber, and it starts to introduce them to a bigger, heavier bullet. And so you start to teach them the concept of, okay, we're making our progression up into power. Now, so what really triggered me to do this video was in James Yeager's video. He claimed that chipmunk rifles were horrible. And I know Steve McNeal of Keystone Sporting Arms, owner, president. Also know his son very well, Matthew. I would consider him a valedictorian of shooting. And Nate up there at Keystone, who's always helped me out with the fundraisers. And this is not just a shout out to them because they help us. They are truly the salt of the earth. And they have been inspiring kids for decades to shoot, okay? So to say that the chipmunk rifles are horrible, that is basically what triggered, and I'm being honest here. And again, I love you, James, but that's a faux pas. That was a gaffe to say. Cricket rifles are wonderful. I'm not like a big proponent of the factory iron sights. I mean, I changed these out for fiber optic. They're cool. But yes, I do think they need to understand the concept of aiming, learning how to, you know, place their sight in a proper place. Also, optics give them sort of a sense of tunnel vision. You want them to be able to see the target and what is beyond and around it to maintain their awareness, and that's something they should learn. And a bolt action rifle helps them to respect ammo and the loading process and the action of the gun and tradition. You know, all of this is just about tradition, and I'm sure I'll get pushback on that one. Children don't have to start off shooting tactically. They can learn tradition and work their way up. It can be very fast. All these guns could be shot within a matter of a month. You know, you don't have to feel like, you know, that they have to be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. A lot of that's going to depend on the child, how mature they were. Bear and Alex showed a huge amount of maturity when it comes to shooting. You can go back and look at some of the earliest videos, and they showed discipline that a lot of kids wouldn't show. And so a lot of it has to do with the child, what they're capable of, you know, how comfortable you are with, you know, making this progression. You know, now we're moving it to the 22 caliber from .177. This is a Ruger 1022. It's just, I wanted to make shooting fun. So this is Alex's M1 carbine 1022. This is an E. Arthur Brown stock that I bought. And yes, I am a big proponent of the Ruger 1022. I have said many times in my videos that it's the greatest rifle of all time. At this point in the game, you know, now that they have been through iron sights, yes, now they can take a 1022, put an aim point or something on it, some sort of optic, and start shooting. But now they understand the concept of lining up sights and co-witnessing, and this is when they can start to look at the concept of co-witnessing. You know, this is a great gun. Again, the Ruger 1022, greatest rifle of all time. Should a 5-year-old start off with it? Just my opinion, no. 5-year-old starts off down here and works his way up. A great time to introduce shotguns. Here's a 410. This is not our first 410. This is just one I have bought recently, but it's a good example. I felt comfortable introducing the concept of shotguns and a smaller power. Honestly though, I love this little shotgun. A 410 with a slug is a great gun for home defense, and that's what this one is set up for. Now, to the black rifles. You can see as they progressed in caliber and in power, I wanted to make it fun for them again. Setting up this AR, which I built, I think it's based on a Palomino State Armory upper and lower maybe. Yeah, not only do I love wood furniture, but I wanted to set this up as more of a sporting purpose for the kids. And they love this, they love shooting it. It splits the difference between that tactical and sporting arena, and it's just a great rifle. And again, You know, moving up, I'm not trying to create some sort of comparison between the 20 gauge. I'm saying there was a 410 shotgun, now moving them up to a 20 gauge shotgun. This is one of my favorite. I refinished the furniture. I have videos on all these guns, but this is when I refinished the furniture on, and it's Mossberg 500 in 20 gauge. That's a Mossberg 500 there in 410. And I just love this. This is buckshot. I keep this somewhere for home defense. I think this is the one I cut the barrel off of, is it? Yeah, I cut the barrel off of it to 18 1/4, and I put the bead back on it. So this is a great little shotgun for home defense. And then we come to the granddaddy, the Russian AK, the banned Russian AK, which I know I committed heresy, and I put this cool. I was experimenting with hydrographics. This is was a boring set of furniture I put on there for the 922R to meet that. I have the actual Russian furniture, but sadly I can't put it on there without breaking the law. So maybe when the crap hits the fan, I'll put it back on. I don't know. But my favorite series of rifles, the Kalashnikov. But, you know, this, obviously, the recoil and the way this gun is set up, the recoil on the AR, in these two configurations, it was less. So I had them, you know, shooting the AR before the AK. And that's what this is about, is the progression that I made on these guns. So, am I a professional instructor? No. Am I a good dad? Hell yeah. So, am I comparing myself to James Yeager? No. James Yeager is a professional instructor, and I respect him for that. But I'm 54 years old, and in a couple of years, I will have been shooting for 50 years, okay? And my kids have been shooting for, well, Barrett for 20 years. So, I'm just saying I feel like I'm a good dad. I'm not saying I'm a qualified instructor, okay? I would never honestly attempt, I can make a lot more money doing what I'm doing than being an instructor. So wouldn't even try it. And I'm just saying this is my opinion as a father and how my kids have progressed through shooting. And yes, I do believe there's a place for tradition. If we don't have anything else in our industry, in the shooting sports, tradition is important. And I wanted to maintain that tradition with my kids, and I hope they will do the same. All these guns will be handed down to them when I'm gone. Sadly, my father was not the same as me. Of course, he wasn't around much to begin with, you see, but I have this thing now where I have to be a better father, and that's my goal. One last point. I want to thank Steve McNeal, again, all the gang at Keystone Sporting Arms, Nate. I want to thank you guys for all that you've done for the shooting sports for kids. And this video is for you. Honestly, if I had not heard that chipmunk rifles were horrible, I probably would not have made this video. So this is for you guys, and love you guys, and I'll see you soon. Nice.